95. Sailing through a hometown countryside. Move on over, stand aside, my cruise control and overdrive. Need to take my baby for a ride. Ooh, she's like a smooth stretch of highway. Ooh, like a cool summer breeze. If my motor's running right, we might lose control tonight. Got the shape I love to squeeze. Looks that bring me to my knees. So please let it roll tonight.
Hi everyone, and welcome to TW Teleproductions North Coast Game of the Week. Or maybe we can rename it this week, Games of the Week, because we're taking you through the district at Ashland High School with Sandusky High. First of all, taking on Mansfield. This game would be on, I don't remember, we've seen so many games, but Thursday night. Buck Halleck, Glenn's there, Leno's there. The whole crew is here to watch the Blue Streaks play basketball tonight. No way. And I'll tell you, this game ended up selling out the night of, and then the game that would follow, Shelby and Lexington, the other semifinal, would also sell out. And then hours ahead of time, the district championship game would sell out. So there was just no more room in this gym for anybody. And it was just a great atmosphere to have a district tournament. Sandusky at 22-1, and there's head coach Damar Moore watching his ball club warm up. Mansfield Senior at 17-7. There's the always on top of it and lively radio crew watching over things. Football coach Lucas Pajali, who is there on hand as well. And Lucas, I have to believe, kind of instrumental. Those of you who remember the name Demarion Westbrook from football before he got hurt, he's going to be furthering his football career at Marietta College. You have to believe that maybe Lucas had a little hand in, getting some scouting reports down there on that great young man. And speaking of great young men, here we go. They're getting pumped. They're getting psyched. And the Wizard of Oz ready to take them through their pre-games. Ozzie and Redding, former Blue Streak player, now coach, gets them all pumped and ready to go. And we're ready as well. Hang on. Game of the Week is next. First part of our telecast brought to you by the Old Fish House, located in Huron, with knickknacks, snacks, and BS facts for everybody. And the Sandusky Bay Pancake House on Route 250 with the best pancakes in the world, in the universe. Wherever you want to go that makes pancakes, you won't find them any better. This is Mansfield dressed in their orange road uniforms, and they are pretty darn good athletic basketball team. As you can see in front of you, this is one of those games that started off totally against the way the Blue Streaks wanted to get started, as they fell behind early and often in this one. And, this is one of those things with the Blue Streaks team. You can never count them out of any kind of basketball game whatsoever, as they fall behind in this thing 11-2 right off the bat. But as you can see, as the game goes on, they start to get cranked up and ready for this thing and take on all takers. They had beaten Mansfield earlier this year in a regular season game at Mansfield, and the final score of that game was 79-73. That was back on February 4th. It is streaks right here with Chase Garr ready to assume the lead. That's in the second quarter at 24-23. The second quarter was unbelievable because the first 9 shots that went in the basket changed the lead back and forth as these teams, it was just like a boxing match in this second quarter. This is Dalen Green, who just put on a clinic. Rebound by the smallest guy on the floor, Amir Aaron, keeping it open for Damar, who knocks down the triple, and then Chase Garr, who he loves to play against Mansfield. I talked to him after the game about this thing, and There's your halftime score of 39-35 after the Streaks outscored Mansfield 20-16 in the second quarter. But Chase just kind of smiled when I asked him about playing Mansfield and said it's just one of those things. He scored 23 in the ball game earlier this year, and he ends up scoring 20 in this one, including several threes. Sometimes it's just coincidence. Sometimes it's just a matter of confidence, but he just gets it done against his basketball team, that's for sure. Dalen Green right there with another knockdown. Followed up by Damar Moore. Streaks led by as many as 10 in this quarter. They had a great run, which they're in the middle of right here, with Dalen getting the slam, which increased their lead to 7 at 50-43. This was a run for the Blue Streaks of 7 straight right here that built their lead up to 10 at 53-33 before they would settle for a 6-point lead after 3 at 58-52. And then, of course, comes the fourth quarter, which the Blue Streaks would start with a bang. This is just the Streaks being extra unselfish, and Jason Henlon ending the third quarter, giving the Streaks a 6-point lead. As through that slugfest in the third, they outscored Mansfield 19-17 to head to the fourth and final quarter, up by 6. And then would come the onslaught at the beginning of the fourth quarter, fueled by the assist from Moore to Aaron. The Streaks would build a 13-point lead. Mansfield scored first to make it a 4-point game, and then the Streaks went on a run of 9 straight points to open up a 13-point lead with 5:53 left to play. And that would be the key run of the ball game. That would keep Mansfield at a safe distance away. Damar Moore with great dribble drive to the basket. Zorian Bonner, boy, great head fake because they know he'll spot up and shoot threes. Percentage-wise, you're better off letting him shoot out there. He's not bashful to take them, but percentage-wise, he doesn't make the greatest attempt. But what I want you to look at here is when you get a chance, look at the corners of the gymnasium where people, I think they actually oversold this game before they finally cut off people getting into the gates. But there's people standing everywhere. Look in that far corner. They're just, it's unconscious, the crowd that was here, the atmosphere that was here. Down to about 2.5 minutes to play in this thing, and the Blue Streaks still attacking with that 12-point lead. And there you see the final, a 9-point Blue Streak win of 84-75. That would move the Blue Streaks on to the district championship game against what we were told was a very, very tall and athletic Lexington ball club. And nobody was lying about that. Lexington coming in as the number 3 seed, and the Blue Streak as the number 1 seed. Our game of the week brought to you by Restore Pro, Disaster Cleanup and Restoration, and by Noble Crafts, Craft Tavern and Shop, the marketplace at the Cook in downtown Sandusky. Well, as you can see, they're packing it in once again here. Blue Streaks and Lexington Minutemen getting ready to square off. If you were out in the lobby at all before this game got started, the line to get in, I mean, before they even opened the doors, the line to get in was way out in the parking lot. Snow Trails Winter Resort in Mansfield, ready to bring you our first quarter of activity here in this district championship game, and Noble Pins, Duck Pin Bowling in the marketplace at the Cook, downtown Sandusky. These two teams played a home and home back in the 18-19, 19-20 seasons. Both teams won home games in that series to kind of even things up in those 2 years. They also faced off 4 straight years in the tournament from 2014 through 18. They split those games at 2 apiece. Kind of like a rivalry outside of a rivalry taking place here between these two ball clubs. And you can always count on a lot of great athletes and a lot of great basketball taking place between these two teams. Lexington opened the year with like 11 straight wins, and then closed the year at 6-4, including a season-ending overtime loss to Mansfield Senior 54-53, after they had beaten Mansfield earlier 57-53 in a regular season contest. Anxiousness to get this ball game underway. Sold out crowd, and again, when you get to this level of tournament play, OHSAA demands that you purchase tickets online ahead of time. So if you're not a computer person, of course, it makes it rather difficult to obtain tickets. You go to a relative, hey, got to get me a ticket online. So make sure they get all the money. See, Bill doesn't even like it either. He's shaking his head in disgust. These are folks from Lexington I was talking to before the game. As you look at Darby McDaniel and DeMar Moore on the Blue Streak bench, they're asking me about Sandusky, and I said, listen, they just prey on their defense. If you can handle pressure, you're going to be okay, and you're going to see the result of that coming up here in just a few moments, because Lexington, same fans, were just shaking their heads after the game. Hang on, you got Lexington and the Blue Streaks coming up. TW Teleproductions North Coast Game of the Week, brought to you by the world-famous Paddle Bar, not far from the location you're looking at on your screen right now, and by Noble Axes, axe throwing, the marketplace at the Cook in downtown Sandusky. Everybody excited for this district championship game, a berth in the Sweet 16 at stake between these two ball clubs, and Lexington, a team that indeed does feature some height, as you saw Braden Forup off the opening tip. He's a young man that comes in at 6'7". He's a senior, scored 18 points versus Shelby in their overtime win in the district semifinal. Hudson Moore, the young man that gets the scoring started for Lexington, and they're off to a 2-0 lead. Jason Henlon off the mark and rebounded by Forup. He's a first-team all-district player. Talking about Braden Forup. You're also going to see a young man, and you'll have to keep an eye out for him. You see him in the picture there, number 2. That is Braden Fogel. This young man is a freshman. He is 6'4". He has already got offers from Texas A&M and Arizona State for basketball. And he also has an offer as a wide receiver from Pitt. You're talking about major Division I universities who are already after this kid, and he is a freshman. And we saw in this game why. I mean, he is just darn good. So is this kid Forup, but he would also get in some foul issues as we're watching the Blue Streak defense go to work early. But still coming up empty as far as the offensive end is concerned. There's Forup on his trip to the hole for 2, and Lexington with a 4-0 start. As we're going to see, though, it's not really the starts of the ball games that make all the difference for the Streaks, as Forup did a nice job of getting around Gar, who planted his defense well. And the Minutemen off to a 4-0 beginning in this game. We saw the Streaks start slowly against Mansfield Senior. Made no difference because the Streaks will hit you with runs in a hurry. It's Dalen Green misfiring on the 3, and Fogel, the young man we were talking about as a freshman, on the rebound. Alex Depperschmidt, our co-captains, wearing number 4. He is their point guard. Feeding off to Fogel. And there's a young man, Elijah Hudson, who's not too shabby in his own right. He's 6'8". He's a junior. And we're going to see him knocking down long balls later on in this game as well. Here's an early look at your Civista Bank scoreboard with the Blue Streaks still trying to get on the board. And as you look in the background, you're seeing there's not a whole lot of empty seats. Here's Damar Moore on the assist to Dalen Green for the first two of the ball game. This is Bringing the Heat, and it's brought to you by Gunlock Sheet Metal Works Incorporated. And this is something Lexington would have to get used to as the game goes on, but they're not going to. Sandusky's hands on defense just absolutely dominated this basketball game. Here's the turnover. Here's Moore alone to the basket, but he sees the 6'8" man coming, so forget that. Behind the back to Green, who almost was shocked it was coming, and got it just over the outstretched arms of Baden Forup. That is Bringing the Heat, and it's brought to you by Gunlock Sheet Metal Works Incorporated, in business since 1889. So the Streaks on the board for the first time and trailing it 4-2. About 5.5 minutes left to go in our first quarter. Over the back right there is Baden Forup, and from the look on his face, it's like, he's 6'7", still going over the back. You wonder how many times did he really get called on that throughout the year, because you really shouldn't be amazed that that call was made at that point. But that's just something you have to get used to as well. You have to adjust to officials, because officials don't adjust to players. That's not the way that thing normally works. Pretty solid looking shot from underneath by Fogel. Contested bunny, which he finger rolled in. The Blue Streaks answering right back with Jason Henlon. This young man, just a sophomore for the Blue Streaks, and part of what is a tremendous sophomore class that the Blue Streaks will be building around the next couple of years. He has no fear, and he has a great touch around the basket. This is what Lexington was doing well early in the game, was hitting their cutters. 8-4 with Fogel hitting the Minutemen up by 4, and Chase Garr, how's that for a great finish? Speaking of fearless, and there is Forup once again frustrated in picking up his second personal foul. This conference you're seeing at the scorer's bench right here is because they put the points on the wrong side of the board. And it's the first of 3 times they would do that. Fans really getting all up in arms about it. See Chase Garr pumped and Forup frustrated. Garr with a 3-point play the old-fashioned way, and the Blue Streaks within 1 at 8-7. And now Fogel going out of the game in favor of, or Forup going out in favor of Joe Caudill. And there's part of that Blue Streak defense that would make its presence known all night long. Damar, first Blue Streak lead is 9-8. When the Streaks score, they immediately go into pressure. And watch, speaking of pressure, your behind the backs don't do much good here, and especially if you don't handle them smoothly. And Hudson Moore turns that over to Jay Henlon. Henlon starting to break down the floor. Lexington doing a great job of catching up. So Kobe Brown will try baseline against Fogel, and when that doesn't work, he'll find Moore. He had Moore with Hudson Moore going one way, so he exploded the other way and gets that seam to the hole for 2, and the Blue Streaks with their first lead. But look at Lexington come right back, and that is Fogel fighting through the defense to give the lead back to the Minutemen at 10-9. This kid, you watch him play, he is amazing, especially when you talk about the fact that he's a freshman. And you can see why big schools are after him already. Because even throughout high school, and once they get him in college, he's going to get even bigger, and he's going to become a stronger force than what he is right now. Minutemen on the run out, and the basket from Caudill stretches their lead to 3. Streaks down by that tray. Makes no difference to Daymar, who fires it in from downtown to tie the game at 12. There is no shot that's out of the range of Moore. Blue Streak defense going to work once again and coming up with the turnover. Dalen Green for a 2-point Blue Streak lead as they turn it right back in their favor. Defense into offense, and here come the Streaks again. Dalen Green, yes sir. And with every basket like that, you can hear the crowd intensifying and screaming. All the attention goes to Moore, so you get the wide open kick out to Green, who seamlessly knocks that thing through. And Dalen, he says, once he gets those first couple of baskets in, he starts to feel it. And this young man would go on to have a career night. There's the defense again. Kobe Brown on the break to Green. The Streaks just scored 10 straight points to go on top 19-12, and they did it in 1 minute and 9 seconds. Amazing. Signs of good business up next. Please support these local area businesses. Brady Signs, Noble Axes, The Crimus Company, J Bistro, S&H Blinds and Floors, Pizza House West. There's the busload of Blue Streak students that came down, supported by their cheerleaders down below. Blue Streaks now with a 7-point lead, their biggest of the first quarter, but answered back quickly by the freshman, Braden Fogel. So 19-15 is the Blue Streak lead. Long rebound coming outside where Dalen Green wins that battle. The tip by Amir Aaron. That young man has just put in so many quality minutes in this tournament, all leading to another Dalen Green basket to put the Blue Streaks up by 6 at 21-15. You know, the numbers just keep mounting up as far as turnovers are concerned in this game. That was kind of a late whistle there, calling a foul right here. The Blue Streaks just swarm the basketball as it's taken away by Green, and after a couple of dribbles, I think the officials saw Hudson Moore, go to his eye, hold his eyes. Oh, he must have been fouled. Tweet! Amazing the way that stuff works sometimes. Put your hand on your eye, you'll get a whistle. There's Moore out front. Wouldn't question it at all if it weren't for the timing issue involved. Moore stepping through traffic, and that kick out comes to Amir Aaron, who had it partially deflected. Aaron with great hustle to save the ball, but it comes into Elijah Hudson. Daymar Moore has never seen a ball he doesn't want to swat away. Get Aaron work underneath. Kick out for Moore, baseline drive, and then Moore gets called for the offensive foul. Number 2 is Amir Aaron. He played a majority of the year on JV. He's got some varsity minutes. Look at this defense. Henlon and Aaron with teamwork. There's Elijah Hudson at 6'8", doing his defensive thing, and then taking the ball down the floor with a nice dump off for Caudill for the final points of the first quarter. So at the end of 1, we've had 1 tie and 3 lead changes. Streaks have led by as many as 7. Lexington by as many as 4. We've got a good one going here for a district championship in Ashland. Blue Streaks 21. As you look at the defense again, and Henlon at the buzzer just off the mark. Streaks by 4 after 1. Lots more fun to come. Stay right where you are. Sandusky Bay Pancake House, since 1966, poised and ready to bring you our second quarter of action between Sandusky and Lexington, which Sandusky leads after 1 on our Civista Bank scoreboard by 4. Streak starting the second quarter with the basketball. And you can see Fogle almost forcing a turnover on his own. Results in a green 3, which is just off. And here comes Fogle from coast to coast. Lexington within 2. Kind of a game of runs right here that goes back and forth between these two heavyweights in the district championship. The start of the second quarter, Sandusky would have to adjust a little bit because Lexington went to a 1-2-2 zone. You can see Elijah Hudson, number 21. He's 6'8", right out at the top of that zone. There's Bonner in the paint, getting inside, but the Streaks take a while to adjust to that zone. Meanwhile, you got the run out to Hudson, and he'll tie the game at 2, or at 21 apiece. Now, that completes a 9-2 run for Lexington. Streaks penetrating that zone and then getting the kick out, and then the traveling violation against Aaron. And Scott Hamilton, the head coach from Lexington right there, liking what he sees on the defense so far, and then the run out and slam by Fogle, and it's now an 11-2 run. Fogle on the nice feed down low with the stuff. Streaks have seen that before, so where a lot of teams may get intimidated by that, doesn't make a darn bit of difference to the Streaks. They will just play through it. Gar with a nice save, ends up going to Bonner and then back to Gar for the long ball, which was just off the rim and rebounded by Fogle. The outlet for Depperschmidt, who hands the ball off to Hudson Moore, who drains the long ball, and now that's a 9-point run and 14-2, which has Lexington now up by their largest margin of 5. Jay Henlon says, that's all right, we've got the answer. And there you see it again for Matthews Ford to get the Streaks back to within 3 at 26-23. Little reaching foul that time by Aaron, and the biggest thing is you reach with the wrong hand, a little bit too anxious. Fundamentally, they always tell you ball side hand. The Lexington with the basketball back once again, and they find Hudson Moore, who makes it a 16-4 run now for Lexington, and their lead is back up at 5, 28-23. Chase Gar with a great hustle play, unfortunately couldn't get it to a teammate, and now the Streaks calling time, down by 5 halfway through the second quarter. Special thanks going out to the following local businesses, which we urge you to support. Your Civista Bank scoreboard telling a story right now we don't like, but the good part about it is those things don't last forever. Streaks turning up that defense once again. There's Henlon knocking the basketball away. Even if you don't gain possession, what you're doing is you're just disrupting everything and not allowing the other team to get any kind of offensive set going whatsoever. Any kind of flow is always disrupted by this intense Blue Streak defense. The word I love to use most is relentless, and there's the steal by Henlon, forcing the foul to be called on the Minutemen, a frustration foul, trying to get the basketball back. All saved nicely by Caudill, but the Blue Streaks end up with possession still. A nice look down low for Green. At that time, unable to finish it up. A constant hounding of the basketball. And that's what should have been called a double dribble right there. And the official said, oh, he just bobbled it. Well, it's a bobble and it's a travel. I mean, one of the two is going to be called. There's that 1-2-2 zone that the Blue Streaks are still working on. Kobe Brown has the answer right there with that long ball from deep in the right corner. You see Caudill a little bit late getting over there to get up for that three, and Brown right over the top of him, drains it from the corner, and the Streaks are back to within 2. And again, this is the best thing the Streaks have going. No zone is ever going to slow down what your defense is doing. Chase Scar, just great anticipation into the passing lane. A nice run out right there, and Chance Basilone with the basket makes it a 30-26 Lexington lead. Rebound by Fogle. Watch the defense go to work again. That's what I'm talking about. No zone stops that stuff. Steal and then the lay-in by Dalen Green. It's a 30-28 contest. Kobe Brown a little disappointed with that whistle. Thanks to the following businesses for supporting us here at the North Coast Game of the Week: Matthews Ford, Cook Aluminum, Hermes Parker Concrete, Noble Fun, Schmid Architects, Steinemann Hafner Insurance, Payne Nichols and Company, Sandusky Steel and Supply, Gnome's Podiatric Medicine, Tom's Trophy Shop, these guys definitely made their presence heard throughout the night, to say the least. Streaks down by 2 right here on our Civista Bank scoreboard. With Lexington in control of the basketball. And right there you see the Blue Streak defense forcing the over and back call against Lexington, but they take it right back, as do the Streaks. Kobe Brown off the rim, but stays with the play, follows it once and again and one. Talk about just persistence, staying with it. This is all mental, folks. This is Kobe Brown. And Kobe Brown. And Kobe Brown. And Kobe Brown. And Kobe Brown. What are you talking about? Like 5 different Kobe Browns we threw in there? And he gets a free throw on top of it. Ties the game at 30. And that's the way it's going to remain for right now. Again, there's that word, persistent. You don't stop no matter what. And honestly, folks, nobody does it better. Hudson Moore with the air ball to Caudill and then Fogle on the follow. Lexington by a pair. And then once again, let's dial it up downtown for more. I mean, keep an eye on where this basketball is on the floor. And if you're not going to come out and guard him, I'm going to burn you. even off the glass. It all counts. Streaks by 1. And Fogel has the answer at the other end for Lexington. Now they're back up by 1. Chase Gar with the offensive rebound. And his pass stolen away by Fogel. Jay Henlon, rebound, running, getting fouled, and going to the line for a 1-and-1. When he misses, Gavin Husty will bring it out of there for Depperschmidt. Hudson, we talked about, 6'8", still knocks down the long ball, and Lexington leads by 4 at 37-33. There's Gar. Backside rebound off to Dalen Green. Green dialing up distance there and unable to knock that one down, but stay tuned because the Dalen Green show is just about to get underway. Absorbing the contact, and Dalen, who shoots over 80% at the free throw line, with 5 seconds to go, gets the streaks back to within 2, and then watch the defense again. Hello, forces the travel call, and now with 2.3 seconds to go, the Streaks will inbound at their own end. And folks, this is at the volleyball line. Kapow! And Dalen Green with 5 points in the last 5 seconds of the quarter has the Blue Streaks into a lead at the break by 1, 38-37. There's no mystery here. Inbound, Green is going to shoot this thing from the volleyball. And look at the expressions on the Lexington kids' faces. Just like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. And for Dalen, look on his face is, just another shot. Your super fan of the week is next for Sandusky Bay Pancake House.
Oh, golly. I go back decades being a Blue Streaks fan. It started when our kids were in school, and it's just been one of those really good habits I couldn't break. So and by the way, I'm going to go to the Sandusky Bay Pancake House on Saturday morning for breakfast.
Because they have the best pancakes in the world. Have you heard that before? Jeff Crable, your super fan of the week for Sandusky Bay Pancake House. Third quarter, the district championship brought to you by Hartung Titles, supporting high school athletics for generations. And the Old Fish House in Huron with knickknacks, snacks, and BS facts. If you need to catch up, that's where you go. The Old Fish House in Huron. Well, our third quarter coming up. The Blue Streaks holding a 1-point lead, and as you can see, Lexington will get the ball to start the second quarter. It's 39-38 in favor. Halftime 38-37. As we start the second half, the long ball makes it a 39-38 contest. Here's Gar on the drive. And Hudson Moore keeping that rebound alive to Depperschmidt as Lexington goes back up on top to start the second half. But as you can see, the Blue Streak defense just never stops. And that time the pass was a little bit too good. Maybe not in exactly the right placement, but caught them a little bit by surprise. And now Lexington tries to add on to their 1-point advantage. They don't count if you hit the bottom of the rim first. Henlon couldn't finish, and the rebound will keep it with the Streaks. See Hudson Moore, he's a big, strong kid. He's 6'3", a senior. Get him trapped on the right side, he'll throw over the top of that thing. And they find Moore again down low. He's trying to muscle in and finally gets the shot off. unsuccessfully, and it's going to be Blue Streak basketball. Henlon and Brown unable to finish, and it's Forup on the glass. And there's Forup down low. That backside shot knocked away on defense, but a foul called, sending Forup to the free throw line. 1 out of 2 at the line gives Lexington a 2-point lead at 40-38. Not going to stay that way for long, though, as Damar Moore throws up that little teardrop in the paint for a 40-40 tie. Blue Streaks again forcing a turnover. In the first half, Lexington turned the ball over 21 times. And we were talking on radio, I mean, that's how good they are. They fought off 21 turnovers, and they're still within 1 point at the break. Kobe Brown on the great assist from down floor by Damar Moore. And the Streaks are back up on top by a pair. 42-40. Fogle from deep. Damar Moore runs by Hudson into the front court and bangs that shot off the back of the iron. Getting a look at the best side of the official as you get Fogle with his second dunk of the night to tie the game at 42. This is Elijah Hudson turning around. Please don't call that on me. Please don't call that on me. Chase Garr, hustle rebound. Take the shot away. Give the ball to Green on the inbounds. Got that rim rattler and Forup on the glass. Fogle on the putback. Lexington try to get that ball down the floor as quickly as they can to avoid those pesky Blue Streaks on defense. Jason Henlon knocks down that pull-up jumper to tie the game again at 44. Going to take another look here at the sophomore of the Blue Streaks. When he sees he can get by the defender and get a little bit of a step, he's just going to take it on his own and knock it down from just inside the paint. A 46-44. Sorry, it's a 44-44 tie until Fogle knocks that down for a 2-point lead. But Henlon coming right back for the Streaks. Get the blocking foul call on the baseline. The Streaks checking in again. Garr for Henlon. Henlon on the putback ties the game at 46. And Forup unties it 48-46. Kobe Brown says enough of that. Let's tie it up again. This is quite a spurt in the middle of the third quarter that just goes back and forth. Forup to the line to shoot a pair. He'll knock down 1 out of 2, give Lexington a 1-point lead, and then the ensuing shot blocked by Garr. Then Caudill off the inbound. Somebody missed an assignment there, and the Blue Streaks now down by 3. This time, Lexington trying to take advantage of a turnover because the hustling Blue Streak defense will not give up another basket to them off that break. Sometimes it almost looks like the opponents start trying to play the same kind of ball that what Sandusky does, and the Streaks are just so good at it that it's tough to match that. That hustle by Kobe Brown. Gar from behind, knocking that basketball away. Up, we caught her again. Loafing on the job. I'm not loafing. Just making sure the floorboards stay warm. As we all know, Aaron Caldwell from the Sandusky Register, prize-winning photographer, does such a great job despite all the garbage we give her. What a feed down the floor. Is that something of a picture of beauty or what? Amir Aaron. This is our play of the game for Civista Bank, and Civista is focused on you. Watch this young man who's been playing a lot of JV ball all year long, but when called on for varsity, he comes through with clutch stuff like this. There's Green tipping the ball to Amir Aaron. Look at that heave right on the money to Jay Henlon, who needs just one dribble to get to the hole and finish it off and get the Blue Streaks back to within one. That's your play of the game for Civista Bank. Focused on you. Obviously, Aaron was focused down floor, which is the way you run the floor. You have to look down the floor and see what's there. There's the knockaway on defense. Henlon the beneficiary, and look at the extra pass. Who was it? Yes, it was Amir Aaron. I mean, this is passing up a good shot for a great shot. Green on the deflection. Henlon on what was going to be an assist until Aaron saw that backside, and Green gets an and one. And predictably at the free throw line, Green knocks it down for a 2-point Blue Streak lead at 53-51. About two great teams just going at it. We honestly looked at that the first time and thought it was going to be a charge. And most of it is, you look at Fogel when he drives that baseline. It's a great feed from Moore. It's that left shoulder that bangs into Gar, knocking him over, and it didn't look like there was any acting going on, but he got away with that one, and Fogel gets the rejection, but Henlon gets the free throw. Well, they didn't call him at the other end, so they got him at this end. And to me, the charge looked more obvious than what this one did. Henlon, that's a clean block up top. I don't know if he got him with a body or not, but man, that was a tremendous block. And Fogel's like, "Are you kidding me? You can't do that." Well, you should have got called at the other end. So like they say, folks, they all even out in the long run. Jason Henlon at the free throw line to give the Blue Streaks a 1-point lead into the final minute of play here in quarter number 3. And again, you hear the fans screaming because they had given the point to the wrong team again. See, scoreboard, fix that. They usually always end up getting it right, but it's like the look from the fans, they kept standing up and throwing their hands up in the air like, "Do you know how to run a scoreboard?" But what you've got is a person from a neutral school who's used to looking at their own team all year long, and yeah, once in a while they get confused. It gets straightened out. Look at Elijah Hudson screaming back on defense to knock that shot away from Henlon. These are just two really good teams that really are getting after it hard. District championship on the line, darn right they're going to go after it hard. But in front of a packed house, these two teams absolutely delivered. Not going to let them get away with that one. Amir Aaron is convinced of the fact that it was clean. But what the official says goes, and that one almost went from Hudson from mid-floor. Your Fan of the Week is up next, brought to you by Snow Trails Winter Resort in Mansfield. It's the Glen Leno Buck connection for your fans of the week for Snow Trails Winter Resort, Ohio's first and finest, centrally located in the Buckeye State in Mansfield, Ohio. Deciding fourth quarter is next on the Game of the Week. At fourth quarter is going to be sponsored by Noble Crafts, Craft Tavern and Shop in downtown Sandusky. These Blue Streak cheerleaders working a little bit of overtime, working extra hard in this one. As the Streaks get the ball with a 1-point lead to start the fourth. See Lexington still employing that 1-2-2 zone. Hudson out top. And the way you beat that zone is to find Dalen Green for three. That's one of the ways to beat it anyway. 22 seconds into the fourth quarter, Streaks with a 4-point lead. 4 up for 2. Lexington back to within 2. Dalen Green on fire for the Streaks. 59-55, Blue Streak lead. Another forced turnover for the Blue Streaks. Elijah Hudson on the rebound for the Minutemen. Moore scrapes that rebound out of there. And Hudson again on the rebound. See, the defense just never goes away. There's 4 up to knock down that short jumper for a 2-point ball game now. Streaks lead chopped to 2. Every so often the Streaks would have one of these deliberate possessions against that zone. And part of it is you're looking for a seam to open up in that zone to take it strong to the basket. Like that one for Jay Henlon. When the middle opens up, you take advantage. Hudson sagged down low. It left that middle open. And that little double clutch by Henlon bangs it in off the glass over the outstretched arms of Hudson. 61-57. There's your Civista Bank scoreboard with the Blue Streaks holding a 4-point advantage with just over 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Well, you know, this is what's really neat about it. If you watch that closely, the defense was standing straight up in Henlon, but the offense forced the contact. You attack the basket, you're going to have some good things happen, and that was example for 4 up right there, who knocked down 1 out of 2 at the line to get Lexington back to within 3. Nice defense by Fogel that time. Depperschmidt with the ball back. He's not going to escape the tenacity of that Blue Streak defense, however, as Amir Aaron comes out with the steal. And the dump off to Green just rolled off the rim, but Henlon keeps it alive for the Streaks. Aaron almost banked that thing in from the corner. Fogel to the line. And he'll knock down a pair with 4:09 left in the fourth quarter. The Blue Streak lead now won at 61-60. Signs of good business up next. Please support these local area businesses that support us here at the Game of the Week. Capizzi's Pizzeria, Crush Wine Bar, Wendy's, Dockside Cafe, Sandusky Bay Pancake House, Cameo Pizza, Noble Crafts, Schmidt Architects. So I'm talking about putting in a little extra duty here. It is showtime at Ashland. Sandusky with a 1-point lead on our Civista Bank scoreboard as we come down the stretch with just 4:09 left to play here in this fourth quarter. Believe me, folks, this is not sitting on a 1-point lead, as you'll see. Streaks never stop the attack mode as soon as they see an opening. Dalen Green puts the Blue Streaks back up by 3. Well, debate there as to whether that ball was out of bounds or not. Of course, the Lexington fans think it was. The guy that counts says, and Green cashes in. 63-60, Blue Streaks with 3:26 left to play. Hudson hounded out top. Fogel, that nice little spin move, but couldn't finish it off. It's Fogel again, finding Forup. Rebound by Henlon, and immediately the Streaks looking to score, and Henlon gets it done. Off the feed from Green. Henlon thinking he's feeding Green, and Green gives it right back to him with that backside basket. And the Streaks have a 5-point lead at 65-60. You know this Lexington team's not going to go quietly. There's Forup. Little jump hook. Gets the roll, and they're back to within 2. I'm sorry, make it 3, 65-60. Kobe Brown rejected by Forup on the second opportunity. Now Dalen Green on the steal, and what a spin move to the basket. Hello. It's like they used to say on the playground, okay, now go back and pick up your jockey shorts. Yep. Goodbye. Green for a 5-point lead. Hudson Moore misses on a 1-and-1. And the Blue Streaks now have it back as we are down to 2 minutes to play in this fourth quarter, and the Streaks holding a 5-point lead. Rebound for Forup. Saying Kobe Brown not over the back, so Caudill to the line. Both opportunities off the mark. Damar Moore on the rebound, and the Streaks right now with a 5-point lead. And it's at that point of the game where Lexington got to think about starting to foul people, as you see right there. And Jason Henlon, who on the year is like about a 57% free throw shooter, will head to the line. Thanks to the following businesses for supporting the North Coast Game of the Week: Good Time Lake Erie Cruises, Skate World, Ghostly Manor, Restore Pro, BGSU Firelands College, Wake Up and Waffle, Cold Water Company, Heartland and Wilkin Custom Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Helene Kia, Schmidt Architects, Capizzi's Pizzeria. Jay Henlon, who we mentioned, about 57% on the year, but folks, this is crunch time. This is clutch time. And the sophomore steps up and knocks down a pair to give the Blue Streaks a 7-point lead. Smart defense by Kobe Brown, forcing the turnover on Lexington. Chance Basilone on the gambling defense, putting Moore at the free throw line, and the Streaks, with a game on the line, refuse to miss. Moore knocks down a pair, and the Streaks have a 9-point lead, their biggest of the ball game, with just 1:09 to play. Clutch rebound by Fogel, and look at the defense by the Streaks continues, but Borup manages to lay it in after he wins the fight for the ball. Signs of good business up next. Please support these local area businesses: Capizzi's Pizzeria, Crush Wine Bar, Wendy's, Dockside Cafe, Sandusky Bay Pancake House, Cameo Pizza, Noble Crafts, Schmid Architects, there's your 7-point lead on the Civista Bank scoreboard for the Blue Streaks. We'll give the ball up to Lexington right here as the Minutemen cling to life at Ashland High School. Steal by Green. Hello. Look out, camera. Here we come. That's worth another look because, yes, even the cameraman, Tom Whaley, gets in harm's way on this one. This is just one of those where Green's got an easy layup. He's got a sense that Hudson's coming behind him, so he's going to pull up, let Hudson go streaking by, and his footing just goes, and then so does Tom's. Elijah Hudson with 1 out of 2 at the line, and Lexington back within 6, and the whole battle here is you've got to make free throws. So the Blue Streaks keeping the ball in Dalen Green's hands as much as possible because he's their top free throw shooter, and Dalen, just very cool, calm, and collected, knocks down a pair, and the Streaks are back up by 8. And when Lexington misses that and Bonner secures the rebound, the ball goes to Dalen Green. He gets fouled. Dalen Green back at the line, and the Streaks are sensing regionals. And Green just continues to sit there and do his thing. Another day at the office for a 10-point lead with 13 seconds to go. This one is history. And this is just going to be an uncontested layup at the buzzer. And the Streaks are headed to the Sweet 16 at Bowling Green State University.
Yeah, let's go.
Lamar Moore taking the much more conservative approach as the head coach. And everybody else just having a great time. And I tell you what, I was watching this line, just a lot of mutual respect going on. Both two very good basketball teams. Thankfully, for us anyway, the Streaks come out on top. And next step, Bowling Green State University and Rocky River Lutheran West. And a whole lot of happy faces celebrating an 8-point win for the Streaks. Lots of emotions as they get there. There you go, father and son. That's one of the best hugs they'll ever have. Streaks in the regionals next. DeMar Moore with the coaches, and there's the chest bump. Darvio McDaniel and Sean Coakley. It's classic. It's great stuff. This whole night, this whole tournament was great stuff. And now you're in a very special territory. Sweet 16 in the state of Ohio. There is the regional championship trophy, or the district championship trophy, being presented to the seniors. And everybody else going to join in. And now the celebration officially is on. Blue Streak 75, Lexington 67 in the district championship. Our next stop on the game of the week will be the regionals at BGSU, the Streaks and Lutheran West. Good luck, Streaks. Go get them. We'll see you next time.